All right, guys. Language arts. My name is Gabriella. Is our story. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. So we're going to start talking here about our phonics first. As we talked about yesterday, we have that ah sound, the AU and the AW. So I have a couple sentences where we're going to read and see if we can find the ah word in each sentence. So we had to haul buckets of water from the river to the bathtub. I want you guys to stop, think about it, which one has the ah word in it. All right, did you come up with haul? I hope you did. Remember, we're looking for the sound again. So number 2, Mouse liked to draw pictures of his family. Okay, Mouse, does that have the ah? Liked to draw. Ooh, does that have the ah sound? Draw would be your word. Number 3, Ethan caught the ball and made the first out for his team. Ooh, I think I actually hear 2 ow sounds, but one is not necessarily following our letter pattern that we're on this week. So if you came up with caught, you were right. If you said,
Oops. Back.
If you said out, which some of you might think that that's very similar to it, not quite. Yes, Mrs. East?
Technically, ball has the same sound, but it's not following the letter pattern. Because it's b-all.
It has the all.
Yeah. So it's not, it's that L.
Mm-hmm.
Bossy L.
All, yep,
Yeah.
bossy L. That's why I said out is kind of similar too, but that's not really, that's that more ow sound.
We call that the I stepped on your foot sound.
Ow, 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 yes. So I know some of you might have thought those 2 words were it, but they don't really, they're not it. So, all right. So I think you guys are going to get the next one since the words came all the way up already, but we saw the worm crawl across the lawn, and so Miss Bachelier gave us saw
I gave a hint.
crawl. She
Wait
gave
a
us
minute,
a
there's
hint.
one more.
Ooh, what do we have? Oh, we do.
Lawn.
We have lawn. You're right.
So we'll add that.
Yeah, we will. So we had 3 on that one. Lawn. Okay, and then number 5. It was not his fault he spilled the hot sauce on the table. All right, so what do you think? If you came up with fault and sauce, you are correct. All right, so I want you to pull out your page 217. Let's see if I can find it here to show you what it looks like. It is this page right here, and you're going to do this on your own. Okay, so the first part, you're just picking the words from the top, filling in the paragraph, and then the bottom is yes, you need to use these 2 words, author and because, in one sentence. Hawk and saw, use both of those words in one sentence. And caught and claws, again, you're going to use both those words in one sentence because it says use each pair of words in a sentence. So, not just one word, both words in the sentence.
Short sentences or long sentences?
Well, it's got to be at least 7 to 8 words.
That's what I was.
That's
It's
how
got to
it- yeah,
start with
that's
a
right.
capital and it has to end with a period
Punctuation.
or punctuation. If it's a question, you're going to use a what?
Question mark.
Okay.
Question mark.
All right, so then when you finish this page, turn this back on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vocabulary. All right, so we're just going to do a real quick review with some of our vocabulary to make you start thinking of things that go along with our vocabulary word. And I only gave you part of the vocabulary words today. One of our words was beyond, and we talked about that. You look far away at something, beyond something. It says, what is a place that is beyond your house? So if you looked outside, what might you see? What is past your house or beyond your house? I think if we were facing toward the mountains would be, I guess it would be if you're looking at your backyard and you looked at your house and behind the backyard you saw the mountains, would be beyond. Our other word we talked about yesterday was create. And you guys are probably being able to create a lot of new activities that you have to do right now that maybe you've never done before because of having to be inside or having to be stuck at home.
We created a picture on Friday
We
on our
did.
Zoom party.
On our Zoom.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did.
And we
Palm
found out we had a
trees.
bunch of very talented tree drawers, palm tree drawers.
Artists.
Artists, yes.
Yes,
Very
because
creative.
we did that for trees because of Earth Day.
Earth Day.
And we're trying to save our trees and our environment. Okay, so create. If you could create anything in the world, what would it be? Ooh, that could be a new innovation too.
It could.
That's an old vocabulary word. So think about it. What might you create? And then have you noticed the beautiful flowers growing outside? I have.
I'm
They're
noticing
all over
them
the
all
place.
over the place now.
They're very
Yes,
fragrant.
they are fragrant. You're
The
right.
roses, especially.
Literature. Do you have a favorite kind of literature? Ooh, think about that. Do you have a favorite story you like? Do you like poems better? Maybe just song lyrics or something different type of literature. You have something, Mrs. East?
Fairy tales.
Fairy
But I
tales.
like, my favorite is biographies.
I like mysteries.
Mysteries. Interesting.
I like mysteries.
Maybe they'd like the Cam Jansons or the Bailey Street Kids for reading those mysteries.
Oh, mysteries, right.
The next one is award. The team received an award for being in first place. Have you ever played on a team? Maybe baseball, football, soccer team? Have you ever your team won an award? Or maybe you didn't get first, but you got second or third. You could have maybe even gotten a participation award, because if you played. And then the last one is grand. Have you ever visited the Grand Canyon? Ooh, grand means it's really big. And then we talked about that one again yesterday. Grand being big. Have you ever visited there? So if you want to answer any of those questions, you can mail us your answers. So that's
Grand Canyon, that's an incredible place.
Well, I was thinking the Grand Canyon and the Skywalk where you go out.
No,
Missy's
no,
cannot go out on the
Yeah, where
Skywalk.
the underneath you can see right down.
I'll probably, if I went on it,
Oh,
I'd
that
probably
was
be
neat.
crawling around. I'd probably be crawling.
Okay.
All right, so then you guys are going to go ahead on the vocabulary. We're going to talk about the first part of this right now. So find your page 218 right now. So we're going to look at this. I'm going to give you a second. Find page 218.
You can pause the video if you need to, too.
All right, so hopefully you found it by now. Page 218, I'm trying to see. It's got, what does it have on it? It's got like, I don't know what that is, like a little house or something on it, but it's got a big box and basically it looks like this. So if we were looking at this, it says to write 2 words from the box that go with each vocabulary word. Write the word on the line below the vocabulary word. We've done a page like this before, guys. So here's all our words. We have read, imagine, saw, study, prize, build, distant, farther, trophy, sensed, wonderful, and important. So if we're looking at those, what of those words is going to go with create? So think about that. To create is to make something up, basically, right? So what would you use over here for create? Miss Bachelor, do you have any ideas?
I'm going to use create imagine.
Imagine would be correct.
I know.
Mrs. East,
Build.
we're going to cross that out. Make sure you cross it out. And then Miss East says right next to it is build.
Because if I build something, I'm
Being
being,
creative.
being creative.
And it's important to cross those ones out that you've already used so you don't get confused.
Right.
All right.
I like how Mrs. Lopez is doing it because she's not scribbling it out. Because if you make a mistake, it's important to see what word is underneath. So you cross it out, but you don't
Scribble it out, yeah.
So if I was up here, I would have crossed out this one, and I would have crossed out that one. So literature. Oh, we've already talked about literature. So if you're doing literature, we might read literature, right?
Mhm, definitely.
So we have read. We're going to get rid of that there, and we'll also get rid of it there. And, ooh, This one's a little bit more different.
I was thinking, maybe I might be wrong, but I'm thinking study.
You are
I'm
right.
thinking study too.
It is study because
Because-
you're having to read stuff to study.
Sort of like what they do when they read their story each week.
Right. And you have to study the story to figure out what the plot is and what the characters are.
And the setting.
And settings,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, our next word is if you notice something. If you notice something, you can see something, can't you? Like you noticed an accident, or you noticed somebody stealing a candy bar that shouldn't be doing that.
So
You could see it or saw it.
Past tense. It happened yesterday.
So we're gonna get rid of that. And what else do we think with noticed?
I think it's sensed.
You are right.
Because sometimes you just have a sense like something's not right.
And that could be a good adjective in a word.
It could.
All right, then we have an award. Oh, okay, we just talked about that. Remember I said you could, I don't think I actually said this specific word, but I said a lot of you might have gotten maybe one of these things when you got a first, second, or third place. You would get a trophy.
Tall trophy.
You know, I have one of those in my house in the spare room. Doesn't belong to me, but it's literally from the ground up here, tall. It's a first place trophy that my daughter got, and I should get rid of it, but I just have a hard time because, you know,
It's something you enjoy
Big old
going and
trophy.
being part of.
I just keep thinking maybe she should have taken it with her, though.
There you go.
Not
it's
left
her
it at
trophy.
my house.
right?
It's her trophy.
I think the next one, like the award, would be like if you went to Chuck E. Cheese.
You
Oh,
get-
right.
Oh, you get tickets, and then you get to turn those tickets in for a
Prize.
My kids used to love Chuck E. Cheese.
prize. Oh, so that pretty much leaves a couple. Oh, no, do we miss something? No, they gave us extra ones. All right, so grand. So something grand, like if you saw, how about the castle at Disneyland?
Oh, that is grand.
That is
indeed.
grand, especially
Yes.
when you were little.
Oh, yeah.
It is very wonderful, right? We love to look at that. We love to look at old castles too. Wonderful.
And you know the next one I'm thinking about, just because I recently saw it, I was thinking about the Queen of England.
Oh,
Oh,
she's very what?
Important.
Important, like our
Yeah.
president, right?
Elizabeth II. Elizabeth
And she's lived a
II.
very long time.
Do you know she is the longest reigning monarch in history? Isn't
How
that
old is
incredible?
she now?
90 something.
Yeah,
90
she's close to 100.
Okay.
Oh,
All
I
right.
think the other words go with the ones they gave us.
Oh, they do. You're right.
so
That's where
so
they
we didn't
went.
cross them off.
We didn't cross them up because they did them for us.
Right. So that's
All right. So we helped you with the top part. Now you have to do the sentences on the bottom. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Use these pair of sentences. Yes. And so go ahead, finish this page up, and then it's time for, I believe, a brain break.
It is, so we can erase, as Miss East would say.
Yes, with my pal.
All right, brain break.
Do you really think I can be happy?
Of course! It's inside you. It's inside of all of us. And I don't think it.
Hopefully, you guys, how many of you liked this movie, Trolls?
I got this feeling
Being happy.
inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
And if you want it inside your soul,
Just open up your heart, let music take control.
Hey, you guys can dance with it.
Sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally.
I want to see which one of you is going to do your hair like that and send it back to us.
Lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. I can see what you dance.
So are you guys dancing?
Uh-oh, their arms are can't be still.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
All right, so brain break. Hopefully you guys like that song. We thought something a little bit different for today. So, cause and effect. We're going back to more cause effect. We went over this quite a bit already, so you guys pretty much should have it down. But we're going to do a really quick. Remember, cause is what makes something happen, and the effect is something that happens because of something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this top part to you, but then you're going to answer the bottom part together. So, let's see. Let's find it. All right, so Arnold Lebel. Now, you'll find out he's an author, and we've actually read some of his work. So let's see if you can pick it out. It says, when Arnold Lebel was young, he loved to draw and make up stories for his friends. When he grew up, he became a writer and illustrator. Ooh, so he wrote the book and he also did the pictures, illustrator. He watched cartoons to know what kinds of stories children liked. I know when I was growing up, I don't know about you guys, but Saturday mornings, that was the day for cartoons. Saturday morning, mom and dad slept in. They, did their thing, went out and do whatever. And I know I just sat and watched cartoons for at least the first hour or two in the morning. Scooby-Doo.
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. Tom and Jerry.
So Saturday morning cartoons. I think they were on till like 11 o'clock. Supposed to be this kind of a relaxing day, I guess, and a relaxing morning.
You know what's interesting you say that too is because when we used to go to the movies, whenever you went to see a kids movie, prior to watching the kids movie, there was always cartoons before we watched the actual movie too.
Right. That was back in the good old days.
Yes. He watched cartoons to know what kind of stories children liked. Arnold Lebel wrote the Frog and the Toad book because he believed learning to read should be fun. His first book, Frog and Toad Are Friends, was a big hit. It won many honors. Ooh, that'd be kind of like awards, wouldn't it?
Oh, like a
Right.
prize.
Yeah.
And
Trophies.
children still loved reading it. Oh, did we read that story? We did. We did Frog and Toad, and it was with the leaves. You guys remember? One went over, raked the leaves the same time the other one went over to rake their leaves to Toad's house. And then, of course, the wind came, and all the leaves did what? Came back. And they didn't even know each other did it. But that was okay. All right, so now you are going to look at the page. All right? So you are going to answer this. The first two, you're going to give the cause because they gave you the effect. And the bottom two, you're going to give the effect when they give you the cause. But you guys are doing this one on your own because we've practiced it already enough. All right, shut it off. Do this page. And I think Miss East. Yep.
Irregular verbs.
All right. So
1,
Miss East
2,
is gonna
3, and
come.
you're back.
We're back. We're back to verbs. Yay, action words, right? So, and whenever we talk about verbs, we really have to think about who's doing the action in the sentence, and that's called the
Subject.
subject. That's right. The subject is the one doing the action.
Do we also call it the naming part?
We do in second grade,
Okay.
but only at the beginning of second grade.
Then at the end we call it subject.
Because next year in third grade, isn't it? It's subject all the way. Yeah.
I know my class, we talk both.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so irregular verbs, we have the verbs go and goes. These verbs talk about the present. When using goes, the naming part, the subject of your sentence, talks about one person or thing. When using I or you in a sentence, we use the verb go. We also have the verb went. Went is like go, but it's talking about something that happened in the past. So, went, this talks about the past. We can use the verbs came and come. Came means the past, come means the present. And so, next slide. Okay, so I broke this out a little bit. We didn't do every verb, but we did several. So we did to see, to give, to go. And then right here, these are the naming part or the subject. So even if you have
But
like,
the pronouns.
these are pronouns to make it easy. But if you have Joe or Mrs. Bachelier, you change it into a pronoun because that helps you to figure out, well, which verb form am I going to use? So if I said Joe, that would be he. If I said Mrs. Bachelier or Mrs. Lopez, that would be she, right? He sees, he gives, he goes. Or she sees, she gives, she goes. And then if you have they, we, I, or you, they would be all the second grade teachers. All the second grade teachers see, they give, they go. Or we, if I was including myself into a group, like all the teachers at Harvest, we see, we give, we go. I, myself, see, I give, I go. You, or you see, you give, you go. Okay, so those are all present tense. So really the only time when it changes is when you're saying he or she. And then it has the S on it. He gives, he goes. Okay, these are all past tense. So it's the same verb, but it's past tense. He or she saw, he or she gave. And here's where this one gets a little strange. To go in the past tense is went. He or she went. They saw, they gave, they went. We saw, we gave, we went. I saw, I gave, I went. And you saw, you gave, you went. So this is just another way to look at it, and it kind of breaks it out into categories.
Here we go.
Okay, this one, you know what? How about you do this one?
All right, so now we're looking at past and past and now. So you're going to look at page 95
Oh,
in
what
your.
color are the pages, guys? Hint, hint.
Do you notice it's green? These are your
Yeah.
grammar pages. So you're going to be using your green grammar pages. All right. So you've all got those pulled out now. Let's go ahead and look at page 95. And we're going to determine, did it happen in the past? That means behind me. Or is it happening right now, like I'm in front of you right now? Okay, Gabriella Mistral gave herself her own name. When did that happen?
Ooh, she gave.
She gave.
So that would be the
Past. All right, number 2 says, as a little girl, she saw words and learned to read them. Oh, listen to that. We're talking about when she was a little girl. So if she's grown up now, that would have been the past. She sees the Andes Mountains from her window. So that means like I'm standing right here, I'm her, I'm looking out, and I see the Andes Mountains.
Oh,
When
it's
does
beyond her bedroom.
Yeah, it's beyond
In
her
the
bedroom,
distance.
in the distance. So when did that happen?
Now.
Now. It happened right now. The next one is Sophia and Anna came to Gabriella's pretend school. Sophia and they came to her pretend school. When did that happen? That happened in the past. All right? Because it said they came. All right, Pedro must go to school to learn his ABCs. He must go to school. So, when did that happen?
Now.
Right now, because you're talking about it being now. Today, Gabriella gives speeches to teachers. Okay, so here's a very important word we have on there. Today, we see that it's happening now, so we should have now. She goes to countries all over the world. So when's that going to happen? Because we're looking at goes now. Teachers come from everywhere to learn from her. So teachers come. When do they do that? Now. All right, so when we're reading these sentences, we have to sort of think about when is that happening. So sort of put yourself in that place, and then that's going to also look at our verb tenses, and we can also tell if it was the past, if it's now the present happening right now. Oh, okay. Thanks for sharing. Cinnamon bagels are Jackson's favorite bagels. He likes the cinnamon bagels. And you guys are going to watch the video on the life cycle of the butterfly, our next step up to writing. Is there a video?
Yes.
There's going to be.
Oh, there's going to be
Need to
one.
get a
There will
PowerPoint.
be one today.
There will be one later on today, so it'll be up for you. It's actually for tomorrow though, so we're okay. And now, right now, it's going to be computer times with Miss Jackson. Some days I just don't know whether it's today, yesterday, or tomorrow, but I'm
That's
still
why
here.
the
So,
verb tenses are
yeah,
so
the verb
hard.
tenses always get me a little confused too. All right, have a great day, Mrs. Jackson's computer class.